welcome back. We have another exciting segment for you. We have two Belizeans who are doing some amazing stuff with the Air Force. We have with us online via Zoom Stephen Cabral, who is a member of the U.S. Air Force, and we have Renan Bizer, who is a member of the Belize Defense Force. Both young, well, I know that Renan is on his way back to Belize at this time.
Literally.
And so, literally, he will be speaking with us from a hotel room in Dallas. And Stephen, he is currently enlisted in the U.S. Air Force and has been enlisted for 2 years and a half. So, good morning, guys. Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. So, Renan, let's start with you. Tell us a bit about what you're coming from. I understand you are a part of a training. Tell us about that training and how did that go?
Well, the training is a part of a partnership with Belize and Louisiana that sends officer cadets to attend officer candidate school in the United States. I am one of 22 past candidates that successfully completed the program, and this sets me up to be a second lieutenant in the Belize Defense Force.
Wow, that sounds like a huge accomplishment. What was some of the challenges or some of the things that you had to undergo during this course?
A bunch of physical activities that had to be met. Room for failure. You couldn't have failed anything during the course via it be theoretical or physical events. It was 8 weeks long, comprised of 3 phases. Phase 1 was like to break you down and build you up. Phase 2 and 3 was mentorship in order to be leaders in the armed forces.
So we're talking about a lot of physical work.
Yeah.
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 The U.S. Army, it's really physical, and they love their waist.
Yeah. So let's hear from Stephen for a moment. Stephen, you were enlisted in the U.S. Air Force. Tell us about your journey.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I've been enlisted for 2.5 years now. My journey all started back in April of 2019 when I decided to make the decision to join the Air Force. I gave it a lot of research, and I was like questioning all the different factors and variables of myself being in the Air Force. And then eventually I decided to just give it a shot, and turns out I've not regretted it, and to this day I've not regretted making that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is it that you do as a member of the U.S. Air Force?
So my specialty in the Air Force is called a financial management technician. So basically what we do is we just handle all the base finances for all our military members that are here stationed at my Air Force base. Mm-hmm. And that varies from giving them advice about their military pay, give them advice about their benefits that they have in the Air Force. If there's any kind of discrepancies on their pay record, stuff like that, we make those corrections for the members.
Yeah.
Do you and Renan probably argue or debate about which military organization is the toughest of both?
Hands down, I would not debate with him because I know from the Army is definitely a different breed.
Yeah.
When it comes to physical training.
Yeah.
The Air Force more so like I'd say more like an intermediate training course. We do have our fair share of training that we do. However, if you decide to specialize in that training field that requires that, then you will be required to do that. So it all depends on your specialty of what you decide to do in the Air Force.
Yeah. When you think of the opportunity that Renan has had to get training in the U.S., I think it's important to talk about how this relationship strengthens what we have here. So let's get your perspective, Stephen, and then Renan.
Yeah, sure. I am. It is a big move by Renan to actually opportunity to do that is the big step. As a matter of fact, I am making my way towards that step. I'm going to officer training school to become a commissioned officer. Um, Currently, I am enlisted. So therefore, there's a difference in responsibilities
Yeah.
as far as to an officer compared to to an enlisted airman. So big respect to Renan on doing that.
Yeah. And Renan, what do you think will be the summary of your experience when the fellow members of the BDF ask you, should they, shouldn't they? What would you say to them?
Definitely, if they have the opportunity to come and to be a part of this training, I would definitely recommend it. It all leads to being a great leader and a great officer. The Belize Defense Force is full of excellent leaders in our organogram, and we should have leaders that exudes the characteristics to be a great, excellent leader, and also humble enough to actually follow and listen to your subordinates. So this all ties up into just being the best officer you can be and to reach the pinnacle of officership in the Belize Defense Force or even in the Air Force. I would like to see Stephen one day have a 1 or 2 star or however their ranks work, but I want him to reach the top, and he can get there being so ambitious of the little time that I have had to talk to him.
Yeah, I love this brotherhood that you guys have, just pushing each other to do better.
Right.
It's kind of like an automatic thing that once you military member, especially both of us coming from Belize, it's kind of natural for us to gravitate towards each other and wanting each other to do the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you, Renan? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 21 years old.
Wow. And how long have you been a member of the Belize Defense Force?
I joined the Belize Defense Force Volunteer Battalion last year, January.
Okay.
And I've been in ever since.
Okay. So
Under the guidance of Major Oliveira, I was on an 8-month officer cadet developmental course that would have subsequently set me up for success.
all right. So how does it work in terms of you, as from a volunteer, are you now moving into sort of an official role when you get back to Belize? Is that how that works?
Yes, I will be a second lieutenant in the volunteer battalion, but I will also aspire to be a regular if I can. I would see.
Right. Right.
Well, it sounds like you came out of a rigorous training, so you should be
Definitely.
more ready now than ever.
Right.
Yes, I should.
Let me just backtrack. I want to ask a question as young men who grew up in Belize and talk about what the military represented for you. Was it a professional opportunity kind of, or was it kind of this dream of being a guardian for your country?
It would boil down to I love the military. My father was in the military. My late brother was in the military. And he was who I looked up to the most when it comes to professionalism, daring. Like, he was my role model. So it was natural for me to, when the opportunity came and I finished the university, that I would go into the Belize Defense Force and more so go in as an officer.
Stephen, is that how you saw the military and military work as well?
Yeah, for sure. It all from a young age. I always admired the idea of service, and it was also something that my father liked for us to do. My father is a huge role model in my life, Stephen Cabral Sr. And he convinced pretty much my brother. So just to add, I also have a younger brother that's in the Air Force as well. So it's two of us. He is stationed out in Colorado. So it's two of us from the family that's pretty much partaking in the Air Force in this chapter in our lives. And yet it's been a great journey since. I have no regrets so far.
Renan, do you see being a member of the BDF, speaking with your peers, is it something that you see your peers also, young men around you, is it a job, a service that they also desire? How high do you think the demand is to be a part of the force?
Well, most of my friends that I actually hang out with want to come into the Belize Defense Force as officers. It has benefits, but more so for me, I get to help other people.
Yeah.
I also want to enable success on the bigger picture. So whatever I can do to help and to serve the country of Belize is more than enough in reward for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, it was, today was an opportunity to talk to two young men who have set out their path in the military, in the U.S. Air Force and here at the BDF, and hear of the work that you've been doing. What do you say to other young men, and I know quite a few, who are interested in joining the military? What would you say they can start doing today to set themselves up on the right path?
Well, to join the Belize Defense Force, I would say to those young men, get your body right, but most importantly, get your mind right. The biggest challenge will happen between your two ears. Your body can take much more than you give it credit for, but the mind battle is a battle to be won. That's where most young men fail. That's where most young men need to improve on in order to achieve success in joining the Belize Defense Force.
Strong words. And for you, Stephen?
Absolutely. I'm definitely in agreement with Renan. Yes, you have to be in a certain physical condition to complete the course, but more so the mental aspect of it is very important as well. You'd have to, I'd advise them to just understand the word sacrifice and how important that is. Also, you'd have to have some sort of discipline, because no matter how you try, you will it, and you will find yourself under some serious circumstances. And also be ready, to lead. The Air Force, and I'm pretty sure Renan's officer training, it molds you into a leader. So where you are required to lead by example, respect yourself and your peers around you. Basically, just refuse to partake in inappropriate behavior, even under peer pressure, stuff like that. And lastly, failure. Do not be afraid to fail. And a lot of people in life are pretty much discouraged because they don't believe in themselves. But at the end of the day, failure is one of the main ingredients to the path of success. So do not be afraid to fail. Take the chance and just turn your failures into lessons. And you should definitely be on your way to achieve any goal that you set out for yourself.
That's right.
That's right.
Well,
I wore my camouflage button up today specifically for you guys. And so thank you. And Renan, safe travels back to Belize. And Stephen, all the best as you continue to excel in the U.S. Air Force.
Thank you so much.
all right.
With that, we'll take a final break and we will be right back for a wrap-up segment.